All right, guys, let's take a look at this problem called middle of the word. Let me just start out by saying that I know you guys are kind of struggling through some of this stuff, and I'm really proud of those of you who have gotten this far and are working to, learn some stuff even if we're not in school. So that's really cool. Um, and let's go ahead and get started with this. So I tried to give you guys some some hints over here. But this is a type of problem where you might have to come up with some of your own examples and kind of figure some things out as we go. So let's look at some odd examples. Knife has 5 letters. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of mark this down over here. And its indices of its characters are 0 through 4. Okay. So the middle letter is I. And so that means that for knife, we have 5 letters, and we want to get the middle letter, which is 2. Okay? So let's do another example. Let's do the word quadruped. So it's like they entered the word quadruped. Quadruped's indices are 0 through 8. It has 9 characters. And so the middle character would be this R, right? Because there's 4 characters over here and there's 4 characters over here. So if we have 9 characters, we want to get the 4th character back, okay? And so let's do a smaller word like the. Okay, the has 3 characters, 0, 1, and 2. And so you can see right away that if it has 3 characters, that we are looking to get character 1 back, the H. And let's do one more example. Let's do student. Okay, student has 7 characters, indices 0 through 6. And so if we have 7 characters, we're looking to get character 3 back. Okay, so this is kind of a weird thing that we have to look at, but we're looking for a pattern here. So we want to get from 5 to 2, from 9 to 4, from 3 to 1, and from 7 to 3. Okay, so it's really kind of weird. You're not really sure what you need to do there. All right, and so that's kind of why I gave you this integer division reminder, all right? So if you take 1 divided by 2, you get 0. If you take 2 divided by 2, you get 1. If you take 3 divided by 2, you get 1. If you take 5 divided by 2, you get 2. 7 divided by 2 is 3, etc. Okay? And so that's kind of weird, right? Because 7 divided by 2 is not 3, but remember we're doing integer division. We're doing how many times does 2 go into 7? It goes in there 3 times. We don't get a remainder with integer division. We don't get a decimal. Okay? And so hopefully you're looking at that and you're saying, oh, 5 divided by 2 is 2, and 9 divided by 2 is 4, and 3 divided by 2 is actually 1, etc. Okay? So there's a little bit of a hint for you. Let's do some even numbered words. Okay? So for example, I gave you one over here, keyboard. Keyboard, we should get bow back as the middle because there's 2 middle letters when it's an even number of letters, okay? So here's another example there. Player, okay? Player has 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 indices, so 6 letters, okay? And we should get 2 and 3 back from that. So if there's 6 letters, we want indices 2 and 3. Okay? So we're looking for a pattern here, okay? So then we're going to do another example here. Encyclopedia. Encyclopedia has 12 letters. So I'm just going to do this 0 and 1 again, even though that's supposed to be 10 and 11, just because it kind of throws off everything if I put 10 and 11 there. So anyway, encyclopedia, we should get L and O back from that. Okay, so 12 letters, and we get L and O, so 5 and 6. So we're looking for a pattern. And the last one that we're going to do here is book. So book is 4, obviously, 0, 1, 2, and 3. And so if we have 4 letters, we want indices 0. We want indices 1 and 2, the O's, the 2 O's there. Okay, so and then keyboard we didn't do here, so I guess we could do it here. So let's just go keyboard. Keyboard has what, 8 letters? And we want indices 3 and 4 there. So if we have 8 letters, we want indices 3 and 4. Okay, so we're looking for a pattern, and hopefully what you're looking at then is you're saying, well, okay, I can't figure out how to get from 6 to 2, 12 to 5, 4 to 1, and 8 to 3. That's kind of weird. But I could get from 8 to 4, and 4 to 2, and 12 to 6, and 6 to 3 pretty easily. And it makes sense to me now that if we want to get to the middle of something, we would divide that thing by 2. Okay, so this is a little bit weird. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, so how do I get back to this 3? 4 divided by 2 is 2. How do I get back to this 1? 12 divided by 2 is 6. How do I get back to this 5? And so hopefully you're sitting there saying like, all right, well, why don't you just take this number and subtract 1 from it, and now you got the first number, okay? 3 to minus 1 is 2, 4 minus 1 is 3, etc. All right, so now that we have an idea, we can go ahead and start programming this. So we want to go ahead and we want to prompt enter a word. So we're going to go system, sorry about that, dot out dot print, enter a word. And then we're going to go ahead and get that word from the user. So string word equals console.next. We should only get one word, so you don't need to use next line there. Okay, if we're expecting more than one word, like with a space in between them, then we want to use next line there. All right, so now what we want to do is down here, we want to find the length. So something like int length equals word.length. Okay, and then we're going to write a test for whether the length is even inside the if statement. So hopefully this is getting to be kind of old hat for you, where you're going to go length mod 2 and then see if that equals 0. See if the remainder after dividing the length by 2 equals 0. In other words, it's evenly divisible by 2. Okay, so if it is even, then we're looking at all of these examples, and we want to go ahead and say, okay, this is the part where we're going to divide the length by 2 to get the second number, and then we're going to subtract 1 from that number to get the first number, okay? So down here, write code to get the 2 middle characters from the word. There's a couple ways that we could do that, but one of the things we're going to need is we're going to need the middle number, okay, the middle index. So we're going to take the middle index, let's call it middle index, just like that, equals length divided by 2, okay? And we also need the first index, all right? And the first index comes from middle index minus 1, okay? So then we want to go ahead and output the 2 middle characters. So there's a couple ways that we could do that. We could do like char at first index and then char at middle index. Okay, we could output both of those. And that would look something like this. Let's go ahead and print out word.char at first index. And then word.char at middle index, because we could have called that second index. And then we want to output the rest of it, which is in the middle of the whatever the word is. So let's go ahead and do is in the middle of, and then word. Okay, so that's that. And we're going to write code to get the one middle character from the word if, and this else, remember, this else is happening only when length mod 2 equals 0 is false. So in other words, only when the length is odd. So when the length is odd, then we just want to figure out how do I get from 7 to 3, 3 to 1, 5 to 2, 9 to 4. How do I get from that? And remember, we're just going to divide by 2. Okay? So go ahead and divide by 2. All right? And then output that one middle character same way that we did this. Okay? I'm going to let you guys do that, but I just want to go ahead and test this to make sure that I didn't lead you astray here. Okay, so what do we got here? Enter a word. I forgot a semicolon. Okay. Right there. Let's go ahead and run this again. All right. So we've only done the even number part, so that's what we're going to test. So let's go ahead and test one of these guys up here. So let's go ahead and test keyboard. Bow is in the middle of keyboard. So that seems like that's working. Let's do one more. Okay. Encyclopedia. LO is in the middle of encyclopedia. So that seems like that's working. I'm thinking that you guys should be able to finish off the odd length part here by just getting, again, the middle index and then outputting that. You can do it just like that if you like. Okay. And then when you do finish it and you submit it, go ahead and check out the solution that I did. I think they call it like the model solution or whatever. Go ahead and check that out because I did it a little bit differently when I did it for myself. Okay? Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck.